Welcome to the House of Maths, and here is my next vector question. So we've got our shape, a triangle this time, and we are told the vector AB is y. So that's that vector there is y. Vector AC is x. So that vector there is x. And we are given some information about a point called M between B and C, and it says M is such that BM to MC equals 4 to 1. So this is being expressed as a ratio. So this bit here is the full vector. This bit M is split between BM, which is 4 parts of the ratio, and MC, which is 1 part of the ratio. So you could be tempted to put, oh, this is 4 parts and this is 1 part. Okay, you could do it like that, but that wouldn't be the best way to do it. You need to think about how ratios work. Okay, we've got 4 parts and 1 part. So in total, we've got 5 parts to each. The ratio is made up of 5 parts. So this bit here is 4/5 of the ratio, and that bit there is 1/5 of the ratio. So really you want to call that 4/5, and that bit there 1/5 of the full length. So the full ratio, the full vector is B to C. B to M is 4/5 of B to C, and MC is 1/5 of B to C. So that's the way you want to look at that. So we've got some questions here. We want to find BC to start with. So that's the vector from B all the way down here to C. And we're going to do that in terms of the vectors we've got, X and Y, these two. So to get from B to C using vectors that we know, we're going to travel down here and across here. So travelling this way, remember we're travelling against the direction of this vector. So this vector is going to be negative y. So BC is going to be negative y, and then in this direction plus x. So this vector BC equals negative y plus x. And then we've got to find vector BM. So this is B to M here. Now remember, we know it's 4/5 of the full vector, and this is the full vector. So BM is going to equal 4/5. I'm going to put it in brackets because that vector is all together of that. So BM is this. And then you can multiply this out if you want to. So let's just treat it in the same way you would treat brackets. So we're going to get negative 4/5 y plus 4/5 x. So that's the vector BM. And now we want vector AM. Well, it's not marked on there, so that'd be the first thing I would do, to actually mark it on there. So you would draw a line across like that, and that's the vector that we're looking for, A to M. So you've got to think about how you're going to get from A to M using vectors that you know on the diagram. Now you've obviously got 2 ways you can do this. You could go from A to C and then up to M like that, or you could go from A to B and across to M that way. Well, I'm going to go this way, A to B and B to M, because I've got those vectors already. I've got that one there, that's Y, and we've just worked this one out, which is this here. So vector AM is going to be going in that direction, so that's just Y, and then we're going to add to it, so we're going to do this vector here, so it's in the same direction, so we're going to add this vector here, so minus 4/5 y plus 4/5 x, like so. So this is vector am. Now notice in this vector we've got a y component here and we've got another y component here. So we can summarize this, we can simplify it a bit. So we've got y plus minus 4/5 y. Well, we've got plus and a minus together, so mixed signs are in effect going to give us a negative. So we've got y, take 4/5 y. Well, that's going to leave us 1/5 y. And then we've only got one x component, so plus 4/5 x. So this is going to be our vector am. Okay. Now you might ask yourselves, why did I go that way? Well, the main reason was because I had those vectors. Now I could have worked out this vector, could have worked out that vector there. That's just a fifth of that vector there. And then I could have gone along that way. And I'd have had to remember that this, if we're going to go against that arrow, that would have to be a -1. So all I would be doing would be getting a lot of negatives, because we've got negatives here and we'd have negatives here. So I've taken the easy option and going that way and that way, because I can see I'm following the arrows and I'm going to get positives. So I think in maths, one of the things is to try to make life easy for yourself. When you start getting negatives, some people find that they possibly make mistakes there. So make life easy for yourself, take the positive route. Less negatives there, less room for mistakes. Okay, so our fourth problem has introduced something slightly different to the previous ones. We've got this idea of a point between a vector here, m, and it's split not as a midpoint, but as a ratio. So these tend to crop up quite frequently, not just on their own, but maybe as part of a more complicated question. So as I progress through these vector questions, you'll find that we are going to get this situation cropping up again where we've got ratios. Last one we looked at, proving something was parallel, proving a vector was parallel to another. So that could come up again as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this question. There are going to be some more slightly harder ones. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and look out for more in future. Thanks for watching.